You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Crisis After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Crisis After Show.
Love the music. Great job, Marissa. Hey everyone, so we're here for another episode of Crisis, Season 1, Episode 5, Designated Allies. This was an incredible episode full of craziness. I'm your host, Stacy Ike, and here to introduce my beautiful co-host.
I'm Courtney Tezeno. We have a lot to chat about today.
Too much. It's gonna be real. I don't know what you guys thought, but we're really excited. I hope you are on your Twitters right now, your Instagrams, whatever. You gotta tell us what you thought, because this was one of those crazy episodes. I was just telling her the title, Designated Allies. Like, what's that all about? So
I know there's
pumped.
so many trust issues, so we're excited to talk about
We're
that.
excited. Okay, so let's get started with Francis.
Yeah,
basically?
let's just dive into.
Let's dive right into it. Yeah.
So we all know Francis is the mastermind behind all this craziness, but I think this is the episode, like I was saying last week, I really didn't think that we were going to see any parent puppets with him using other parents. This time it got really close to home, and he used his wife. So that's very close for him, where he's using someone close to him to get what he needs for this mission. So first we start off with CIA Widener and CIA agent Widener, and he's the godfather of Beth Ann, which is the craziest thing ever.
Right.
Like, Francis already suspected something was going down with his wife and Widener, so he used him.
I just think that was kind of, I wouldn't say kind of, it was very inappropriate, because like, it took me the whole episode to really realize what he was doing. Like, was the wife playing with him, or like was he actually using her? And once, you know, I finally figured it out, I was like, dude, like, you use people's emotions basically to like completely screw. Like, it's just such a sticky situation. Like, your wife is so gonna feel guilty for that, whatever. And then, you know, Widener did that.
Finds out.
You're right. Well, no, like, she knows what she did.
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
she should feel guilty regardless.
Oh, she definitely should. But even if they find out, like, if she doesn't
and find
even know,
out what the deal is, she
doesn't even know, like, her husband just is the person that started all this.
Right.
Like, Widener would have never came to the house.
Right.
She would have never been put in that uncomfortable situation. So I think it's just so interesting that Francis did that just to get, like, his sick goal of
And you know
hurting
what
the
was
CIA.
also really interesting? He originally said that, like, she was there to poison him. You know what I mean? So, like, and the funny part is, like, once one of his workers or whatever was like, so wait, we're not there to poison him? Like, he was like, no, that's just like another plan.
Exactly.
And
like,
then, and then we find out it's
this
like,
was a personal goal. This was a personal
it's
mission.
too much. Like, I just feel like that was, and I'm starting to realize why. Like, I mean, he just really, he wanted to prove to himself that, like, he wasn't crazy about his wife, which was terribly sad because he was right.
Yeah.
But what we do know is, like in episode 1, I mean, when this first all happened, like, his wife and him weren't on good terms. They were not on good terms.
Like,
so,
speaking was like brush off and keep it moving.
Exactly.
So for him to, like, know all of this is going on, it's just like, I think we kind of saw a more vulnerable side of him. Like, and that's the part I don't like about Francis, is that, like, we see vulnerable sides of him with his wife and his kid, but, like, you're putting them in this crappy situation.
Yeah,
like,
and you're still a terrible person.
Yeah, who does that? Like, how do you flip gears like that? So Francis is just, like, off his rocker.
Yeah.
But one thing that I said about hold on one second. We're talking about the poison.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so the poison situation with him not going through with it, I still think that that's bad on Widener, because we said that this is the godfather of your child, which means that you were somebody's best friend. How can you do that? Like, and you probably weren't the wife's best friend. You were probably Francis' best friend.
Yeah.
So first of all, Francis is putting his best friend or best family friend, whoever, to the ultimate test by poisoning him just to see. First of all, he knows he's not going to do it because he's CIA. He's smarter than that.
Yeah.
But mainly, like, you're putting him through this test because you know that he's trying to be with your wife.
So wait,
like,
I was trying to. So Widener basically knew, like, she would poison him because the kidnappers called. Like, she knew that she was involved, or he knew that she was involved, you think? Like, I mean, obviously he did because he didn't drink it, but I was trying to figure out how he like got to that point.
How he knew that she was poisoning him?
Yeah.
Because the one thing that he said was, you'd really do anything for your daughter, wouldn't you? And he knows, like, he knows, like, you would do, like, he's like, you would do anything. People have been
called, and
a part of me thinks that he has some suspicions about Francis. I think because Francis is the only person that's really like, oh, he's so innocent with the kids. Like, I think he's onto it because they're CIA.
It makes honestly, it's so funny how it's all starting to unravel now because, we don't want to jump to the end, but how Finn or Agent Finley and Dunn kind of saw that picture. And it's very funny because I wouldn't have originally thought Francis was who he was. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, you see him and you're thinking like, crap, the teacher who was with them
the chaperone is
exactly,
with the kids.
Exactly. And then you find out that like, it just makes so much sense now. Like, obviously, he's the only chaperone that happened to, I mean, besides the teacher, but like still.
Besides the teacher and besides Kyle's bodyguard.
Right.
So Hurst. Besides those
adults.
Besides those adults, they don't know who the kidnappers are. They don't know who's, taking care of the children. Yeah. So honestly, being CIA or Secret Service, those will be the first people that I would think are, have something to do with this.
Exactly.
Like, why are these kids just randomly kidnapped when you're taking care of them?
Exactly.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Well, not that like a teacher or those people can control everything, but yeah, you're completely right. And I think going back to what you said about the best friend, like he could be Francis's best friend. I don't know what guys are like and how, if a guy sleeps with his best friend's girlfriend, I'm sure there's a code for that because the girls, we have our code. No, I don't know how you got that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like he didn't care that much because if he's had this like deep love for her, he's probably like, look, Francis, like, you're not here. She's alone. It's my time. Which is terrible. But I'm just saying, like, that's probably why it happened.
No, guys stick tight. And
do they?
They do. They stick tighter than girls as far as friendships. I think that they were best friends. And there's a certain code. This is not just a girlfriend. Right. Like, there's no dibs. This is someone's wife. Yeah. Like, she's off limits. Yeah. And, like, there had to be, maybe in the beginning of their friendship, if there even was a friendship, we're just throwing stuff out there. But if there was a friendship between them, maybe Widener always liked her. And then she chose Francis. Right. Who knows? Maybe he's always had, that resentment towards the situation he's been in. And, like, now this is his moment. Like, Francis
and
is
that's what I'm saying.
up.
I think he took advantage of a moment. But I also think that now that you're saying that, maybe he wasn't really that close to Francis as we think. Like, maybe it was all about her because I mean the way Francis played it is like he knew there was an emotional tie between them. There was a friendship, then there was an emotional tie on top of it. I think there was two layers to them. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like Francis was the top dog in that friendship. I feel like he was.
Maybe it wasn't Francis. Maybe it was the wife and Widener that had a friendship and they kept it as friends and didn't move any further. Exactly. Maybe that was
and
it.
Francis obviously paid attention. He got kind of that information.
He's
he lives
just
there.
My best friend.
Exactly.
You never know.
Ooh, that guy best friend. Anyway,
I
know. So yeah, I think Francis definitely was terrible in terms of playing on emotions and using the parent puppet, except like you said, closer to home this time. So
I definitely think that it hit very close to him for this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're gonna move on. All right.
You ready?
Cool. Yeah, we're ready to move on.
I feel like before we move on, I think you should also talk about, because I know we mentioned that Francis, like, how does he flip the switch so much? Like, in terms of his version
his emotions.
Yeah, exactly. Like, how he came out and he did the thing with his daughter. And then remember the scene where he, like, called the mom and, like, it's too much. Like there's like jealousy, there's envy, there's like, towards towards the wife, because he's like still trying to be on top. So he's like, we're supposed to believe that he's doing this all for the daughter. Like, what are we supposed to believe?
I honestly think that his revenge is just spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
So the revenge, and he's supposed to be doing this because he's, against the CIA.
Right.
But now he doesn't realize, like, he's put everyone in this. And, like, my question earlier was, like, okay, at the end of the day, Francis, if your family's involved, if your family finds out that you were involved in this and started all of this, if the CIA finds out, like, how do you benefit?
Exactly. Yeah, that was the question that you asked. And I was like, this is...
Yeah, how do you benefit from any of this? So, guys, let us know. You comment on YouTube for us and tweet us, or, our Twitter
our
names.
Twitters.
Yeah, you know our Twitter names.
We need to
know.
So,
tweet us, hashtag NBC on Crisis. But just let us know what you guys are thinking, because, like, that was super interesting to... Like, why are you doing this, Francis? Like, how do you truly benefit if they find out it's you? And if they don't find out it's you, like, how do you benefit for
Yeah.
real?
But I think that's the funny part. We still don't know his master plan. I think that's what's the most interesting. We still don't really know, unless like they told us and we just missed it. But I'm like,
no, we don't know
we
yet.
did. Okay. Because I every episode I'm like, wait, do we know what he wants exactly? Because he's always like doing everything else leads to something else. Like even the people he works for, they're kind of like, wait, what are we doing again? Like, you know, you saw all the different soldiers and all his people, they were kind of like, wait, we're bugging his phone, but wait, we're doing this. Oh wait, you want that? Like Francis, what do you?
Francis has like the upper hand on everything, and he's just using everyone to get what he thinks is like the
ultimate goal, which could change like every episode.
Every episode, like you never know what his motives are. I feel like he has like plan A, B, C, D.
Yeah,
like he's so prepared for this. But one thing that I wanted to say about, let's see, Francis. Yeah, no, I think we're really done with Francis. Like, we're trying so hard to, like, keep it going.
Francis is a huge, he's a huge topic. Just
definitely.
He's the mastermind behind it.
Yeah, but he, like, intertwines in a lot of the other things. So,
yeah, exactly.
Now the kids and the kidnappers.
Okay. Well, I mean, can we do kidnappers first?
Yeah, let's go for the kidnappers. I'm not really feeling it. Like, I honestly think that we're starting to get a little bit more color in, like, not even who the kidnappers are, but, like, what their role is.
Yeah.
But what's, like, freaky to me is, like, why do they know so much? Like, who are these people behind the mask?
Exactly.
Like, they know too much about these kids, and it's really just starting to throw me for a whirlwind, like, how they're playing the role in the house. Like, they're just not the enforcers or just the puppets for Francis, but they're, like, they know about the love triangles and they're like using that to their advantage. Like, who are you guys?
It was really awkward because when the kidnapper came up to Amber, and like, first of all, the relationship between, like, not that there's an actual relationship, but the way the kidnapper approaches Amber is just,
it's sick.
It's too much. I don't like it and I don't appreciate it. She is too young, and just like leave her alone.
It always makes you feel like
on
edge,
like just
like,
really on edge for her. Oh my gosh. And like her acting was, you're phenomenal in this episode, girl. So because she really, I mean, her fear in her face, like I felt it for her. Like every time he approached her and, you know, was trying to talk to her about the teacher or this and that, it was like, he's getting too close. And is it the same kidnapper or all of them doing that to her?
It's the same kidnapper, which makes me, I really want to know who you are.
Exactly.
Like, what are you doing?
He hasn't taken off. We don't know that mask yet.
No, we don't know who he is yet. Yeah. So, like, he knows too much about Amber. I think he has a thing for Amber. But, like, I mean, in this scene that we saw, like, I really thought he was going to do something to her. Like, there's an open bedroom, like, she's by herself. It is just so scary. Like, that's the worst feeling ever. She's a child.
Yeah.
So, but then when he ends up pulling Ian in the room, it's like, so you know?
Way creepy. I was like, first of all, do not take, and the way he treated Ian, like, I love that kid. Like, he's so like innocent and pansy-ish. Like, I don't, just because
he's getting a little bit out of the pansy.
Okay.
A little.
I just didn't really, like, he was really trying to like be himself this week. I was like, boo, no, you're not strong enough yet.
I think he's had enough. I think he's like all that pressure of being like locked up and like, are they feeding? I'm sure they're feeding him.
They're feeding. Are they feeding? They are being fed, which this is the most interesting, like, hostage situation ever. Like, they're like showering and like chilling. People have time to make out. I'm like, what's actually happening?
I mean, I guess it's like the rich kid hostage.
Exactly. That's actually terrible, but that's exactly what it is. Like, they're like having time to exchange showers. I mean, yeah, they're being watched, but I just don't see you changing into your like Zara blazer and like your cute little shorts. I don't get why that's happening.
You'd be all tattered.
You know what I mean? I'm like, why do they look like they should be doing the show with us? Like, exactly. I don't get it. Like, you're too dressed. It doesn't make sense. But okay.
But yeah, so with the kids, like, I just want to know how the kidnapper knows that you know, Ian likes her. Like, why would you, out of all kids, you come here? Like,
he's
this
watching.
Person, he's not. But the thing is, they're not talking that loud. Did they put bugs on them? Like, they took their parents' bugs out and then put bugs on the children. Like, I want to know how they know all of this.
I think if the kidnappers are watching the way that we think they are, because they're not doing bugs and maybe they're not talking loud, but actions speak louder than words. And Ian has been his actions show, you know, his eyes are always focused on her, and his expression when anything happens to her, when she's feeling sad, like, he's there, like, physically. He might not say anything, but I think that gave the kidnappers just enough leverage to completely use and to destroy him, which really hurt.
Which sucks. And then, like, he obviously is paying attention to Amber because he's getting super jealous with this teacher. Yeah. And that's the thing I don't like. Like, she's two older men. Like, oh my gosh, leave the girl alone.
Oh, that's true.
No, the kidnapper and the teacher.
The teacher, gotcha.
That's weird.
I know. And Amber, like, she's such a cute girl, and, you know, she's one of the richer girls on the show in terms of, you know, parents and stuff. So I think they're taking advantage of her in a sense that she's the most vulnerable right now, because Beth Ann, she has this like strong, like, you know, like you said last week, kind of emo thing going. So she's real like to herself and doesn't care, and she's like not threatened by them at all, which is like, girl, what? You don't have a scare bone in your body?
Yeah, she doesn't. But okay, this is another interesting thing I thought about Beth Ann. She's kind of taking, I don't want to say like she's acting like her father, but like out of all the kids, you're starting to see that she kind of is like the leader of the drama. Like she's the person that stole the blade. She's the person that, you know, is, I don't know, she's kind of like starting a lot of the drama that happens in the house. Like if she hadn't took the blade, Ian wouldn't have cut herself. If she hadn't done this and that, they wouldn't have been investigating the kids. So it's like she's trying so hard to let go my dad and let us all go, but like she's the ringleader of all the drama, and her dad is doing the exact same thing.
It's either her or Kyle, because Kyle, you know, he doesn't mean to, but he definitely, you know, last episode he was trying to be the hero and he did all that, and then this episode he was like, hers, prove it to me, and it's just Kyle.
I think Kyle's keeping everyone sane.
I know.
I think he's acting like his dad. I think it's so cute the way they did like all the
parallels.
Yeah. So like I think with Kyle, he's really like the leader. Like he's the president's son. Everyone's going to him. Are they mad at him? Yes, they're mad that he's like getting priority. He's the person that like does all this stuff and then they let him go back. But at the end of the day, Kyle is the person keeping everyone sane and making sure that they don't, you know, get out of the boundaries that the kidnappers have set, because Ian could have went ballistic and that boy would have been dead.
I mean, the truth, actually, I really like where you're going with that, because Kyle is quickly becoming one of my favorite kids in the house, because I'm very much over Beth Ann. I've been over her since episode 2. she had nope, not feeling her. It's just because she's too judgmental. I don't like it. She hasn't really changed much, but I appreciate that she let Kyle in this episode, because remember I said like last week I was like, I want her to like let her guard down and like let him in, but that caused trouble. You see, when like, she kissed him at the worst time. Again, like this hostage is too comfortable. Like, why do you have time to go to people's bedroom? But anyway, so you know she's there doing that, and Kyle, he's still like, he's trying to prove that everyone's not a bad guy, which I appreciate. Like the whole Hearst situation when he was trying to get the Secret Service agent to, you know, somebody he's trusted to come out and like defend this whole thing and just say like, no, I'm not a part of it, whatever. Even though, I mean, we know that can't happen, but.
Yeah, but I mean, that just goes back to the theme of this whole thing was trust.
Yeah.
And we saw, like, it kind of hurt my feelings to see Hearst have to like put on that role
that was
in front of
terrible.
him, like, you are no one to me. You're just a job. You're not family. I don't care if we went fishing. Like, no, we went fishing. We're family.
like who goes fishing without their family?
I know,
like.
exactly. So that kind of like hurt my feelings that he had to do that. But then again, it goes back to the whole thing of Crisis. What would you do for your kid? And I think originally, as we were talking about before, Hearst wasn't in it just to, he wasn't in it thinking that he was just like a puppet or anything. He thought that he was like, oh, we're all in this little mastermind mission together. But he's not. He's just being used.
Okay, so just in case you guys missed what she's saying, because I remember the first time she mentioned that to me, I was like, wait, so you think like Hearst isn't like on, because this episode I really realized Hearst isn't on top. Like I knew that, but there was a time he was on top, in a sense, is what you're saying.
Exactly. And I think that the reason we can say that he was on top is, you know, he didn't come in as a puppet like the rest of the parents, completely blind. He shot his partner the first day. He knew what was going on. He knew exactly what was happening. But I think once he got into the back room with Francis and all the other kidnappers, he realized, like, you're not as big of a deal to this. You're not my partner. This is about me.
Yeah.
And you're just helping me get what I need to get. So I'm going to use you. And if you want you and your daughter to get out of this, you do as I say.
Exactly. And that basically, I mean, that sucks. Like, I just didn't even realize that. Because I like, I'm not going to say I like Hearst, but I like him now because he did have a feeling for Kyle. Like, I could see it in his eyes that he was like.
He didn't want to say that.
Yeah, he didn't want to lie. And that really sucks. So, and again, like, with going back to Kyle, with Ian and with his other friend, like the guy who's like doing drugs now and stealing all the pills.
Every drug,
I think it's respectable that Kyle's like that. Again, he's the guy who's trying to keep everyone sane and trying to get him to like calm it down and like not, get himself in any more trouble than he needs to. So that's kind of frustrating because the kids are not paying attention to him like they should, except Beth Ann, who's now interested. But
yeah, is she interested in everyone? Like, it just feels like it.
That's the thing. Like, we still have, that's the first episode. I wasn't sure. Like, I thought she was in Anne. Like, I was so sure of it.
But
and then
Kyle, like, I don't know.
I mean, same thing with Amber. She got her couple of these. They playing the field up. This hostage, like I'm saying, this place is too much love going on, and you guys are in a hostage. I don't understand. I really don't get it. Like, this is a bad situation. But you know what? Love conquers all.
They're
So
making
they
the most of.
Yeah, exactly.
They're making the most.
Exactly. Well, if we're gonna be here, we might as well make out and get locked up and take shower. I mean, I'm just saying that's how it's looking to me. But
yeah.
So
they have nothing better to do.
We might as well propel into this beautiful idea of trust that we focus on in this episode. It was hard because obviously there was barely any trust, so that's what the main focus was. But there were so many different relationships that we found out that we uncovered that trust for them is just like a no-go, and that is why it's so important for us to talk about it. So let's maybe first talk about the sisters.
Okay, well, that'll be a long one, but yeah,
it's my favorite one though. It's
definitely
so ridiculous. Yeah.
So Meg and Agent Dunn.
I hate her, but go ahead.
Don't we all? Agent Dunn and Meg have an interesting dynamic. I think that their trust is something that we need a little bit more backstory on, like, why they don't like each other. But I think before it was like they couldn't separate work and family. They're both in two different fields where, like, it's super secretive and, you know, you have to put your career first. But I think Meg might have put her career too up front in the beginning. So now I think Agent Dunn has absolutely no trust for her. And now that they're doing this mission together, I don't think Meg can be trusted at all. Like,
she's quickly becoming, I was telling you during the screening, she's quickly becoming the least trusted out of at least some of the relationships that we're going to focus on, because she never is explicit about anything. Like, I don't like that.
So
like,
vague.
You know, Agent Dunn will ask her, like, and this is like the third time we've heard Agent Dunn say, okay, no BS, tell me what's going on. And every time Meg will give her like a very small paragraph, and then we find out all the stuff that Meg knows, and I'm like, but don't you want to find your kid?
Yeah,
like,
but that's the thing. I really think now we're seeing that Agent Dunn, I think her mission is not only to do her job, but this is the first time she's going to even encounter her daughter. So this is almost like Agent Dunn is doing this as a mother. Like, what would you do for your daughter? And I think Meg is coming from a perspective, even though she is technically mom, or for all these years she's been mom, I think she's coming from like, this is my job. And I think that's where they're finding the conflict.
But it's not her job to get involved. Like, I feel like, okay, yes, like you have certain powers, you know, here or whatever, but it's not your job to get involved. Like that whole situation with the doctor and like the CIA, and when he, you know, pointed out and said, you know, who are we working for? Ask your partner's son, sister. That was too much. Like, I feel like Meg's getting extremely involved, and she's kind of messing up connection, and she's giving Agent Dunn another reason not to trust her. And now Finley's not going to trust her if he's a good partner, which he is.
He's an awesome partner.
Yeah, he is.
And just quickly to go on their trust level, I think that there's even more of a trust level, and we'll get into that.
Yeah, definitely.
But let's talk about that doctor. So we have a new character who was revealed in the beginning, and this is the person that Meg was sleeping with.
Jonas.
Yes. So he's Jonas. And he, in this episode, was the doctor of these two wounded soldiers. So these soldiers were a part of Francis's team. I think they were kidnapped.
They were part of the the soldier mentioned it. It was like training. It was a terrible training situation.
Exactly. So with is it, hold on, once I'm like so lost right now. It's so many different names at once.
I know, it's ridiculous.
But the soldiers, soldiers and Jonas, there we go.
Right.
So the soldiers were basically giving their statements as they're becoming conscious, and they basically tell them what this whole video was that we saw last time, and it was like a video of them shooting civilians. So we find out that the video is they were doing a training for a larger mission. What do you think the mission was?
You know, probably something evil. But
I mean, yeah, but I had a feeling that the mission had something to do with Francis or the CIA, honestly. Like,
gosh, I'm trying to think, because I know as soon as he mentioned it, like the first thing I thought, I definitely thought the CIA was going to do, just something terrible. Like, I think it was going to connect to, what was the second parent that died in the huge...
Worth?
Was it Worth?
No, or the ambassador.
The ambassador. I don't know why that struck a little bit to me. I feel like it went back to like all the parents who have died first in some way. I don't know if that makes sense, but just something like the mission has something to do with all these important people, and it probably would have brought a lot of hell down.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's a really ridiculous situation, and that's probably why these soldiers like can barely you know, they
They
obviously
can't
don't want to be
bear
bad.
it. Like,
Yeah.
they can't even go to sleep. One soldier was like, please help me stay up so I don't
That's
get
so
these dreams.
sad.
Like, that's so sad. And, like, a lot of, you know, war veterans deal with stuff like that. But these people are not, you know, killing other soldiers. They just
Yeah.
killed women and children. So that's, like,
For kicks and giggles.
Yeah,
That's what I didn't
for
understand.
training.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see, like, what this training is all about that's supposed to be happening in D.C. We'll see if it's a part of the CIA, or we'll see if it's a part of France's plan, or maybe they're all involved. Who knows?
Okay, if we're gonna talk about the CIA, can we talk about the fact that the CIA versus FBI, their trust issues between them are terrible? Because to me, you're both supposed to be working on the same mission. You're both supposed to be bringing these hostages home, yet, you know,
You're
Agent
blocking each
Olsen
other.
can't trust Agent Winward. I mean, what, you guys are supposed to be partners. Like, they are completely blocking each other. And if this training has anything to do with CIA, then I don't trust CIA anymore, because
I've already stopped trusting CIA because they're lying.
That
The
they
FBI
lied.
is doing everything in their power to get this mission and make everything, you know, get these kids back. And it seems like, you know, I think I can't trust the CIA because Widener just blatantly, like, lied in Olsen's face. And he knew it. Like, y'all are all Secret Service. Y'all know. I'm sorry.
But I think also, like, the way the show is set up, we're supposed to be on the FBI side. Like, if I play
Yeah,
devil's
that's true.
advocate, we're supposed, you know what I mean? Like, somebody else, let's say they don't trust the FBI, they don't trust Finley, they don't trust Dunn. Like, of course, for us, they're the good cops. They're you know, they're playing the good role. But somebody else might see it the opposite way and
yeah,
think,
maybe we haven't seen enough of the CSI.
CIA, exactly. But they don't CSI, right? But they don't. But I don't, honestly, I don't think you need to see that much more to feel the way we feel, because come on, like, even, okay, remember when he was talking to the doctor on the phone and he was like, hey, you're gonna be okay. What's it, Widener. So Widener was on the phone with the doctor and he was like, hey, you're gonna be okay, blah blah blah. And really he was just tracking him, trying to find out where he was,
exactly,
to kill
no
him.
trust. And I feel bad for Jonas, because there was one point I thought Jonas was evil because he hit, you know, he put all the, whatever it was, the poison, the venom, whatever that numbed them, numbed Finley and Agent Dunn. I'm like, oh my god, like, they just helped you and you led them into a track. But then once they get on the phone with Widener, you realize that he's also being used.
Yes.
He thought that he was coming in to help the wounded soldiers. And he ends up being, you know, being a part of the
Completely
CIA's
used,
plan to, you know, take over everything. Like, it really sucks. But I also still think that Jonas has something deeper to do with it, because why is Meg
Her reaction.
why is her reaction that way, and why is she tracking this guy if he's no threat? Oh, I'm just the doctor. So I think we'll see more about Jonas and, like, see why he's doing all of this stuff.
And I think with the relationship with Meg and Jonas, whatever that is obviously it's going to propel a lot in the next episode. But I think I wish she was more honest with her sister about it, because then her sister could at least know, like, to go after him in a good way or a bad way. Like, should she see him and say, hey, we understand why you did what you did, but, like, let's work together, or do we, like, take him out?
I don't think Meg wants to work with her sister. I think she's used to handling things. So I think now
not for her
this
to
is
handle.
not the time.
I don't understand.
It's not the time. And I think that that's what she's doing. Everyone's blocking each other, and they're actually, the way that they're blocking each other, I think Francis already knew that. So he's made his plan in a way that it's just like I said,
using the puppets.
Yeah, he's like plan A, B, C, and I know how all of them are gonna react. Like, he's using everyone's weakness for his strength.
Very true. I don't think he really knows the FBI's specific weaknesses just yet. Actually, no, I lied. He does know. Yeah, because that text message coming up, we'll talk. No. Don't even, I'm like, don't go there yet. That was a lot. So I think if we talk about, like, the partners, and, you know, we were going to discuss Agent Finley and Agent Dunn, and now their relationship.
This is the only relationship where I think that you can trust someone. And I think Finley has been an awesome agent and has made her feel comfortable and has done his job. Out of all of them, he is the good guy. He is the good one. So Agent Dunn feels comfortable enough to go ahead and let Finley know, Amber's my daughter. I have to let you know if we're going to continue this thing, because Finley was so concerned with their relationship as partners, because he looked in her file. He's like, well, why haven't you been able to keep a partner? Like, what's wrong with you? So I think that you know,
what's wrong with, when he said that, I was like, honestly, why haven't you? But I mean, we know why. She doesn't trust anybody. She's had whatever situation she's had in the past. She seems like a very strong, and the thing about her that was very interesting is when, you know, they kind of went too far by stealing the soldiers and kind of taking them out to freedom or whatever. She was like, back me up, okay? Didn't even ask him for his opinion, what he thought, whatever. She just said, back me up. And he was like,
doing it on
yes,
her own.
exactly. And that's why he picked up on it. He's like, look, like, I'm gonna support you because like you're my partner, but you have to understand that I think we went too far, and you need to start like consulting me when you talk about
partners. We're partners
when you figure this stuff out. So,
but one thing about that thing is, I think she also was convinced to go ahead and tell him because her sister told her to, because she whispered in her ear and was just like, you need to tell him. Like, I know you feel alone, but like, this is your partner. And that almost, just because I know how she is, I don't trust it.
I was about to say, I'm like, Meg's giving good advice now. It's a lie.
It is. It has to be something deeper that we don't know.
Actually,
I really think Meg is working for someone, or she's a complete independent that is like against everyone and she's trying to track everyone down. I don't know what it is.
But I mean, okay, so let's just say, not necessarily a prediction, but let's just say the reason that Amber was never, because remember, Amber was never freed. Meg did exactly what Frances told him, her to do, and she's the only one that didn't like get what she, her kid back. And Agent Dunn has always questioned that. She's always said like, oh, really? So you did what they said and you didn't get your freedom or whatever. So
working for someone.
I was going to say that it would be really terrible to find out Meg was with Frances. Like that seems a little much though, right?
Oh, that would be, I would have heart palpitations.
No,
like,
but I
would not know how to deal.
I'm like, what is that? What? I'm trying to figure out, is that even possible? Because
it is. I really have felt like Meg is working for someone because she's, like you said, she's so vague. Oh, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. She gives no one information. And she's like, remember her husband was like, you really think you can get Amber on your own? Like, you think you can do this? So she's like hired her own squad of people. I think she's working for someone and she doesn't want to let her sister know that she's working against her. I am almost.
You're convinced. I mean, I don't trust Meg, so I'm gonna side with you. I don't know if she's I can't tell if it's Frances or like her own people. Is she just trying to get Amber out? Whatever it is, I don't trust her. And I think it's frustrating because we need to get more from her so that she can help Agent Dunn. But honestly, Agent Dunn has Finley and Olsen and they're kind of doing their thing.
Yeah, but I honestly think this could run a lot smoother if she would break down that wall of being career oriented and be a sister. Be a good person. Like your sister
be a good person.
Be a good person. Like it's not that hard.
It might be for some people.
Maybe, I don't know. It shouldn't be that hard. But Meg, like she bothers me. I think we should just stop on her.
She's frustrating, definitely. But I think if we just propel back to Agent Finley and Agent Dunn, do you think? I mean, we're talking about Lance Gross here, so I mean, we trust him. We think he's great. Oh gosh. But if we get real and go back to his character, do you think that'll ever come back out and he would do anything negative towards Agent Dunn with that information?
Do you think he could also not be trusted? Is that what you're asking?
Basically.
It seems like anything can happen at this point. It really does. But honestly, I think that he has shown his credibility. Like, he loves this job. This is his first time to prove himself for the Secret Service. So I think he's actually doing, his job. He's the good person out of all of this. Everyone else has had their history. They've been in this system already, and they have their own motives. Lance is doing his job. He went on that field trip to do his job. He's doing his job as the partner. I think we don't have anything to worry about with him. And if we do, oh my gosh, you just...
the propelling is happening.
Yeah, the population.
I'm like, the population. I can't. We're going to look that word up after. But anyway, if that's basically what it is, then yeah, I'm hoping Finley is trustworthy because to me, he seems okay. But we would love to know what you guys think. So you know what it is. Make sure you visit us on iTunes and YouTube and AfterBuzz.com, AfterBuzzTV.com to see all of our live shows and to leave us your comments on YouTube. Check us out on iTunes. You can listen, you can watch, whatever you got to do it. Make sure you leave us comments and rate us 5 stars because we love those. / we love reading all of your comments. So we'd love to know what you guys think about who's trustworthy and who's not. So
and we have all of our apps on iTunes and Android. So be sure to download so we can have you right on our mobile phone. And we will get back to... I think we need to go back to Francis because I really do.
Gosh,
because
he gets on my nerves.
But he's like such a central character. I really think it's interesting to see Francis like freaking out about his wife. I don't know if we touched on that, but like towards the end, he talks about how like, I don't want to do this. This is pain for me. You're the ringleader. How is this pain? You're causing yourself pain. And that just shows how crazy you are. But he starts freaking out about his wife kissing Widener. And I'm like, I understand that's your wife, but like, what did you expect? Like, you set yourself up for that.
But you know what? What's so interesting about that is I don't know how much this happens in real life, but I feel like that probably happens, like couples, you know, who don't trust their it's like why cheaters made so much money for so long.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like finding out, like having someone who can research and find out who's who, and if your partner is really lying to you or has feelings for someone else. This is exactly what Francis did, and the sad part is it worked.
Exactly. I think that's what he was hoping didn't work. I think this was the one plan that Francis did, and he was like, I really hope, I'm testing you now, and I really hope that you don't pass this test. Gosh, you passed this test.
But the thing
and
is,
that
of course she passed. Like you.
But there was a small part of his evil heart that wanted her not to pass that, because this is your wife, for goodness sake. Like, you don't want that to happen.
No.
You're already dealing with enough, even though you're causing it, which is the twisted thing. But you're dealing with enough.
Happened. This is totally side note, but that actually happened in Scandal too. We will not get into that.
No, please, no.
But I can. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like this happens in real life where couples are like, okay, well, I'm gonna use you. I mean, they don't mean to, obviously. I hope like no one really does that, but couples, you know, if you are not trusting someone or you want to see if they are trustworthy, you set them up in a situation that you hope that they will come out strong, and then you found the one. But when they fail, how do you bounce back? And that's what's really interesting, because Francis definitely knows the truth. Now, they didn't let us know if it was more than kissing. I'm assuming they just kissed, but I think it was just kissing. The suit looked pretty crisp when he left the house.
Yeah, we'll say that. I mean, he could have just threw the thing off and it could have been crisp when he put it back on. We never know.
It looked a little crisp, so I don't know.
Okay, so let's hope that they had some moral character. But another thing on affairs, I want to see how Meg's husband is going to deal with the fact that one day somebody has to come out with the fact that Meg like slept with this Jonas character. So, I mean, Agent Dunn obviously makes her feel like crap, but she's like totally numb to it. She's like, you slept with him. How do you think your husband would feel?
But she's probably used to it.
And she was just like, it's almost like she was like, I had to get the job done. And it's very frustrating. Like, how are you married? How are you married?
But that's what I'm thinking. Like, I know this is weird, and I think Noah is a good husband. I mean, we don't really know too much about him, but I also feel like he won't be that. Yeah, exactly. That's why I'm like, will he be shocked? Like, I don't know his character enough to know his relationship with Meg. Like, yeah, I've seen him twice, and we know he's a loving husband, but
and he supports her.
Yeah, exactly. He supports her, but does he trust her? Do we know if she's done this before? Do we know?
I don't think that we would assume that she knows he's done this before, because she seems like a completely different person. She seems so caring and warm, and
with him.
Yeah, so she seems like a normal person, but she flips gears so quickly, and I think he knows that, but he would never suspect that she would flip it on him, which is super naive. You know who you're married to. They can flip real quick. That character doesn't go away.
But you're not supposed to know. Like, you're supposed to think the world of the person you decided to marry.
You are, but I mean, there are some clear signs. This girl does not have a good relationship with her sister. It's horrible. She will like backstab her sister. She will probably backstab you. She knew her sister before she knew you. So, I mean,
that's true.
It's just going to be interesting. I kind of want to see how Noah would react if he found out. Like, would he still be loving, supporting, or would he like go crazy and like add to the drama?
We're basically creeping into it now, so we might as well just go into predictions. So we can go ahead and give more about Noah and what's going on there.
You're AfterBuzz TV.
These lights, Marissa. I just love it. Like, it's so flashy in here. Yeah. Ooh, she's giving us a little more. Y'all see that? So continue with what you're saying about Noah.
So, I mean, I just really want to see what type of guy he is. Like, he really seems like he is, really behind his wife. But I think that there, again, are some clear signs. But I also think that there's some clear signs in the way that she's going after this investigation. And he sees that. He's like, you really want to go after Amber and do it on your own? So, like, the sleeping thing may not shock him. I think it would really hurt him. And I think maybe he wouldn't even be on the show anymore. Who knows? But what do you think?
I wonder what Noah's relationship is with Agent Dunn. Like, in terms, like, okay, so I'm raising your kid. How do you feel? Like, how are we? Because I understand the sisters, they're not, on a good terms. But I wonder how he is. Like, you're the brother-in-law.
I mean, maybe he has no relationship with her. There's those.
He's raising her kid.
Okay, but then you have to respect your wife's decision. If your wife is not okay with her sister, it's almost kind of like that thing that you don't talk about. Yeah. So it could be that, or he could just be that sweet person that kind of goes behind his wife's back, and it's like, hey, let's just make this work. It's his family. So I don't never know.
I wonder. Yeah, I really want to know if that ever plays out. I also want to figure out what's going on with Amber, the teacher, Ian, that triangle. It's a really awkward triangle now, because it's like Amber the whole thing was just kind of disgusting because the guard made her admit whatever to Ian, and I'm still trying to figure out, like, is that part true? Like, did the teacher actually ever touch Amber?
I think it was very clear in her expression. We don't know for sure, but I think she kind of showed, like, yeah, he did.
He did?
Because I think he might have, because she got so frustrated in that first episode when she found out that he was with someone his age.
But people who are 16, their feelings just kind of don't make sense. Not that you shouldn't be 16 and have feelings. But we're just saying sometimes they're a little over-exaggerated at your age or whatever. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going to happen with that relationship.
Yeah, I'm interested to see that as well. I think that it happened. There's nothing. Yeah, let's see. Any other predictions?
I know. I'm trying to think. Okay, what else?
Oh, you know what shocked me? You know what shocked me, that I hate to even say, but the kid at the end, that he was, I guess he passed out and he finally woke up. He might be someone else that, like,
oh my gosh,
evolves in this thing. Like, he had a dream, and like dreams are they're pretty, pretty good thing to show predictions. Oh, I'm getting too excited to even speak. But this kid is talking to Francis, who's supposed to be the chaperone and looking out for them, and he's just like, I had a dream that you were like helping the people in the back that kidnapped you.
That is so gonna come back and haunt this entire thing.
Yeah, and I think he almost flinched. Like, he was like, what just happened?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think that'll be interesting to see, like, how this kid plays in this. Like, is he going to continue to be the dream man, or is he going to just be some kid that just lucked up and said the right thing, or or if he gets released, what if he tells somebody that, and that gives them a clue? You never know.
That leaves it on a really good note, you guys. Make sure you leave us your comments on the page about what you think your predictions are. What are you foreseeing for next episode? And who was your favorite this episode? / what trust issue were you, like, the most mad at? I'm Stacy Ike, your host, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at OneTakeStace. And where can they find you, lovely lady?
Lovely lady. And I'm Courtney Tezeno. You can find me at Teznos, Tez Nose, and that's on Instagram and on Twitter. Be sure to tweet me and hashtag Crisis on NBC so we can see what you guys are talking about, and we can't wait to chat next episode. We got a lot to talk about.
You guys got to keep us in touch on Twitter, because we'd love to bring in your tweets next episode. So we want to make sure that we have kind of your collective wholes of what you're thinking and who your favorites are. We will see you next Sunday.
All right, bye guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.